Welcome to Influence Matter, the show that teaches you how to turn your story into impact and your expertise into influence. I am literary consultant and publisher Clara Rose, and I am your host. Each week, I cover topics related to crafting your message for the world and building influence for your business, ministry, cause, or brand. Then, of course, sometimes I have a guest on the show that I think is doing something interesting or unique that I think you're going to be interested in, and I bring them on the show. And this is one of those weeks. So let me tell you really quickly about my guest today. She has been a coach for over 30 years, and she is experienced in body, mind, spirit connection. So she is a qualified educational kinesiologist, may I hope I said that right, allergy practitioner, a medical intuitive, and she speaks passionately about the science of forgiveness, which is interesting, isn't it? The hidden key to health, highlighting the often overlooked link between emotional and physical well being. She works primarily with women who are facing hormonal imbalances, which, most of our lives we are, and she guides them to restore balance without medication or hormones, surgery, lifestyle changes, things of that nature. So she is the creator of I Thrive, which is a web app that is known for producing lasting mental and physical health breakthroughs. So let me welcome, please help me welcome Hanna Kok to the show. Are you there, Hanna? There you
Yes, I
are.
am.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so
So
much
you are
for
coming
having
to
me.
us. It is my pleasure. You are coming to us from a long ways away. You're in South Africa, correct?
That's correct,
So
yes.
I think that you might be my farthest away guest, I think, on the show. So I'm so glad to have you. So tell my audience. I read your bio, but tell them what it is you really do. Explain to them what you do.
What I really do is when a person comes to me with hormonal imbalances and even other health issues, we go and find out what is the issue that is unresolved in the body that the body wants to release. Because our symptoms are a way of the body trying to communicate with us, or even our soul trying to communicate with us that we want to make a shift in our life. And when we make that shift, then the body can heal itself. That's basically what I do.
So that sounds so simple, but I'm sure it's not as simple as it sounds. So is there like some in-depth process, or what can people, because that just sounds so simplistic, what can people expect when they work with you?
Well,
What
when
does
I
that look
work
like?
with them, what it looks like is we have it's called theta healing, the method that I use. So I bring myself and the client into a theta brain state, but it's not hypnosis. It's just through a little meditation that we connect with the creator of all that is. And then also through my training, I know if a person has a problem in a certain part of the body, this is probably the issue. So, for example, the one thing that throws our hormones out is when we hold grudges. So, if a person has hormonal problems, then that's where I'll start asking questions. Also, again, get an indication of when did the problem start, because the conflict would have started, most of the time, maybe 6 months or so before the symptoms arrive, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. But the whole idea is about identifying that issues. Sometimes the client knows, sometimes we use that divine connection to get an idea what the issue is. And then there are special processes, but it's quite simple. It's relatively easy for the client. They just say, yes, I want this, yes, or no, I don't want that. And yeah, that's how it works.
So it seems very simple. So this sounds very much like one-on-one. So there's not like so many people are offering like group things these days, right? Group experiences or whatever. Is this something you ever do as a group, or is this just strictly a one-on-one adventure?
No, I do. I do also do it in a group form as well. And then I also have been teaching courses to teach other people to do a similar thing. I've developed some of my own material, especially around releasing the traumas. We all have trauma from big and
Mhm.
small. And it's not about constantly looking back at, what trauma have I got? You don't want to be looking in the review mirror all the time. But
Mhm.
sometimes we trip over something and then it's time to clean it up. And then I use
Ah.
those techniques to identify and clear what is the thing that is troubling you, what is holding you back from moving forward the way you want to move forward.
So do people find, like, in a group setting that they can actually do the work, or is that just more for learning about the process? 'Cause it seems like it would be depending on what was tripping you up, that could be kind of a more private feeling thing. Do you find that to be true or
Well,
sometimes?
when I there's when I teach courses, then people will be practicing on each other, and then that's how they can work through their own stuff in a one-to-one basis as they practice on each other. When I work with a group, what we do then is I'll take a person as an example, but then constantly say to the group, okay, how does this apply to you? Now you answer these questions for yourself. And then the processes, the downloads that I give, or when we release certain emotions, they can do it with the person I'm working with. And then they find it also very helpful.
Okay. So, yeah, that does sound like it could also work in a group. Some people are more comfortable in a group, some people are more comfortable one on one for sure. So if someone says, I would like to explore this more, do they start at your website? Is there like a process that you send them through to learn more about you, or how do people first engage with you?
Well, the easiest one is actually I have a gift for your listeners, and with that, they automatically will start engaging
Nice.
with me. Is if they go
Okay.
to my name, Hanna Kok, .com. Yeah, that's the I Thrive website. They can go there, and they
Okay.
could go to look at the plans, and then from there is a free thing they can sign up for. The other
Okay.
thing is they can just go to my name, hannakok.com, and it will take them to that same page. And you can spell Hannah with an H at the end or without the H at the end. I might got
Ah,
both domains because English people like to put an H at the end. Um, and
that's
then the
true.
surname is Kok. Yes. But my name is Hannah without the H at the end. But you can do both.
Okay. Okay, which is probably smart just because at first I was putting an H in. I'm like, why is this not going through? And then I'm like, oh, because there's no H. So it's smart of you to buy both domains because, right, we're creatures of habit, right? And I was just determined that you were going to have an H on your name. So that was clever of you. So uh,
No,
the tell me about the free gift. What is the free gift that you're giving to the audience?
okay, so it's based on my I Thrive app. The thing is that the way we experience life has a lot to do with our mindset. Our subconscious
Mhm.
programming will be like a filter. It filters out the information that we come into contact with, and it will only allow us to see things that are aligned with our beliefs and
Mm,
our expectations. Now, a lot of people have very negative beliefs about themselves and about their life.
mm,
And then they keep on repeating, attracting the same type of
mm,
uncomfortable situations in their life. So what this does, and you can listen to these I thrives audibly if because you want to hear what I'm saying. So I totally get that.
mhm.
So you can listen to it audibly and then you can say, yes, I want that one. Yes, I want that one. And once you've heard it once, you can just put it on and you can let it play in the background and it starts to go into the subconscious mind and change the way you experience life because now you change your filter. And It's really effective. People have more energy, they sleep better. And then this is the freebie that I have. I also have a paid version, and I've got subjects in there like menopause and menopause and
Mm.
carefree periods. And they have been really good. People have seen a reduction up to 85% of their symptoms.
Wow, that's significant. That's a lot.
Yes,
So
that is a lot.
the I Thrive app is like for your mobile phone, right? So something that you can so you could listen to these on your mobile phone, or is it just a web-based app?
It is a web-based app, but you can make it look like a regular app on your phone by making a shortcut. When
Oh,
you sign up, you'll get instructions on how to do that.
okay.
And
Okay.
uh, so it looks like an app, but you can now run it on any device. So you can also run them on your computer
Okay.
if you want to, unlike a mobile app.
Okay. And then you just, so it's hearing you, but it's, so can people like be playing in that in the background while they're doing something else? Or do they need to be focusing on listening to what you're saying? Because it's kind of not really it's not really, it's kind of hypnotherapy a little bit, right? Am I using the wrong terminology there?
Well, the effect is the same, but it's what you call subliminal. They're subliminal messages if you let them play
Ah,
in the background. So you do not
okay.
have to
Okay.
do them audibly, but you can if you want to. You
Okay, so
can.
you can listen to them or you can just play them and your brain will hear them. I mean, pick up on them, right? So I could, be doing something else. I love to have, something playing that because I spend so much of my time, I'm editing, right? That's what I do is I help people write their books. So I'm editing and publishing their books. So I spend a lot of time at the keyboard. I like to have stuff that I can like play in the background, but I can't pay attention to it, right? Because I'm paying attention to my work, right? So I'm always looking for what could I have playing in the background that's not going to distract me from what I'm trying to do, but is still going to have some potential benefit. It sounds like that's something that works that way. It's interesting.
Absolutely,
Very
it
cool.
does. It absolutely does. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the can go to your website and get the freebie. So it's like a trial version or a mini version of what the app is like. Is that
It is a
fair
mini
to say?
version. It's a mini version. It's a
Okay.
mini version, so they get one topic, and then
Okay.
if they want to try out the full version for 2 weeks, but then they would have to give their credit cards. But it's super affordable, really.
Gotcha.
It's super affordable, and but this one
Okay.
is free to keep as long as the website is running. It's there.
Is that okay? And then once somebody goes through like that, even if they do the paid version, so then what is that next? Um, if they're like, oh, I think I need join a group coaching program, or I need to work one on one with her. How do they do that next step?
Well, when they sign up for the free version, then they on the thank you page there is a calendar link, and also on my the
Oh,
Life
okay.
You Want website is also a calendar link, and they can then book a free session with me, and then we can find out what is best for you. Exactly on that one, you can book a free session, and then say, okay, I want to go. I want to do the group coaching, or you want to do the individual coaching. Depends on the what your needs are. Yeah.
Sure. And then how you feel about, right? I'm a part of several group coaching programs personally, and I'm fine in a group setting. But I think some people are but I'm really outgoing, right? So I think people who are a little more introverted and shy might be less comfortable, right, in a group setting. So I do have people reach out to me
Yeah,
and say,
and
"Yeah, I'd love to work with you, but not in a group."
that's why I do both. And the whole thing also
Mm,
is that, remember, I mean, I often work with people holding grudges, and there are personal things that they don't want to accept
mm,
or explain in a group. However, the way that I work, people do not have to tell me their stories. They just need to answer
Oh,
my questions in their head and then maybe give me a little
okay.
bit of detail, but I don't need any explicit details. It's not good for me and not good for them either to like
Oh,
retell the
right,
story. After.
right.
Um, so it is really about identifying the issue, spend as little time as possible on it, and then do the forgiveness work around it, reframing what happened. That is really what I do,
Mm,
so that you can put it to bed, and then it's like done, dusted. You don't have to feel bad
ah,
about it again. Mm.
okay. So it really the the work is really about the forgiveness, right? So you're spending the bulk of the time on the forgiveness, not on the drudging up of the issues.
Yes, and there's more to it than just the forgiveness. A part of it is also, which needs to precede the forgiveness, is to realize what did you learn from that situation, because these traumas or those difficult situations, they shape us, but they shape us for the better if we allow it to do so. And then it becomes much easier to forgive, because often that difficult situation held a key. It holds the key of how we can move forward. It shows us our next step towards our success. And once you can see that, it becomes much easier to forgive.
Mm, that does make sense. And actually seeing when you can reframe it and see that you gained or had some sort of benefit come out of it, I can see how that would really make a difference in then being able to forgive versus focusing on the this person did this to me or this said this to me, whatever, right? They focusing on the negative side of it as we at least in my experience. So in your brain, you start to ruminate on things, right? But you're only ruminating on the bad stuff, right? You're ruminating about the negative, right? So being able to reframe that and think, okay, yes, but here's how I gained from that. Um, then makes it so much easier to even consider forgiveness, right? Yeah,
And
that makes so much sense to me. So much sense.
And also, we need to, I want your listeners to realize is that forgiveness is for you. You're not doing it for the other
Mm-hmm.
person. When
Right.
I do the forgiveness work, you never have to speak to that person. You don't have to go to them and ask for
Mm,
forgiveness or expect them to
mm,
forgive you. However, that you do, so you do. It's a private affair. It also does not mean that you have to let people back into your life. I mean, if
mm,
they really hurt you badly and you know they're untrustworthy, you can
mm.
forgive them, but doesn't mean forget. So you can say, no, I do
Right.
not want you back in my life. That is my right to say so. But I accept you're a person that hurts so badly that you hurt other people. And I love you as a person, but not in my life, not in my circle. So,
Mm,
and then we have tremendous health benefits, because on a cellular level, there is so much takes place when we forgive. We when we release the
mm,
trauma, we release the cells from being in stress mode, and they now can start healing themselves, and that's how the body can start healing itself. Another thing, as you said, you're ruminating over it. Now, when you're
mhm,
ruminating, it takes a lot of energy, and that has
mm,
to come from somewhere. And that means
mhm,
that your body has less energy to repair and restore itself. And then it falls behind in
mm,
maintenance. And you know what happens when you don't do your maintenance. I heard you
mhm.
say you have a husband that does the maintenance, but if he doesn't do it, things
Yeah.
are going to fall apart, right? And the
Yes.
same is in our
Mm,
body. If we don't have the energy because we're so
mm,
mentally absorbed of with this thing that we cannot forgive, that's why we get sick from it. And we are the ones that are going to get sick if we don't forgive, not the
mhm,
other person.
mm. Right. Right. They may not even know about it, right? They may not even realize that you're still struggling with it because they've moved on, right?
And literally, sometimes I have had people that are still upset and the person is dead. And that
Right.
their life is controlled by that person.
Wow,
Their
that's just
happiness
crazy.
is yeah, yeah,
So, do you find that sometimes people don't even like they have a health symptom, right? Something's going on in their life; they're not well. Do you find that they don't always even know what it is? Why? Right? Right? Do you have to dig and
absolutely,
find out? Hmm, interesting.
absolutely. But
That's
that's where
interesting
my
too.
training comes in. That's where my
Right.
training comes in. So if a person comes with specific issues, then I know, okay, so like if they have gut issues, that is then they have stored memories of abuse. But if they have uh, bone issues, then they have self-esteem issues. Or if they, so each part of the body will tell me a little bit about what the issue is, and is it on the left or is it on the right? It is, the body is communicating with us through the symptoms, and it's a bit like your emergency light comes on, your oil light comes
Mm.
on in your car. Well, what do? Do you stick a sticker over it, or do you actually do something about it? And if you don't do something about it, you're going to have major engine problems,
Mm.
damage,
Right.
and huge
Yeah.
expenses.
Eventually.
And yes, the same is with our body. If we don't listen to it, it's going to come back with bigger and not better, worse symptoms. And
Mhm.
that is why it is so important not to just take that pill. And even the lifestyle changes or the
Mm.
diet changes, they can bring relief, but they don't resolve that unresolved emotional issue that
Mm.
is eating away at us. My favorite saying is, what they say, as a man thinketh, so he shall be, but it's
Mhm.
also,
Mhm.
it's health is not about what you eat, it's about what eats you.
Ooh,
What
that's
is
good,
eating you?
right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Or another,
Because we're as
or another,
people, we're that way.
yeah, exactly. Or another way of saying it is that your biography becomes your biology. And I've seen that with clients. I would, in the intake process, then I'll listen to their life story, what happened from
Mm.
conception to now. And then I look at the physical symptoms and they tell the same story. Tell the
Mm.
same story.
Interesting. If you know what you're looking
Yeah.
at, right? And that's
Yeah,
why
but
you
there are great,
hire.
but there are also great books. I mean, you got like Louise Hay's got a little booklet called Heal Your Body, or there's another great book called The Psychic Roots of Illnesses. And when people sign up for my free gift, they will get access to that book. They can download it as a PDF
Oh,
as
nice.
well. And then you can
Okay.
look at your symptoms and you realize, oh, this is about whatever that is that you're dealing with.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
that's another
something else.
reason why it's good to sign up.
Yeah, get that free
Yeah.
information. Now, do you have a book? I always like to ask that because
Yes.
that's what I do for a living. Do you have your own book?
Yes, but I have because I'm busy rewriting it. So I am not going to give you what this one is because it is registered
Okay.
on Amazon, but I don't have access to that Amazon account because the publisher died.
Oh,
So we're busy
oh,
doing the second version. And this
gotcha.
one is also from 2009, and 15 years later, I've learned so much new stuff. So I
Sure.
am actually
Sure.
busy editing it now. Yeah.
That's perfect. That's awesome. And I hear you'd be surprised at how many times I hear that. You're like, oh, I lost access because, the publisher died or went out of business, right? They're not in business anymore, so I can't get access to my book, which is 100% why when I started Rosedale Publishing, or my first publishing company, that we do it differently, right? We do it specifically so that you as the author own your own access so that you never are in that situation ever again, right? You never lose your access. So hybrid publishing is the way to go. If you're putting a reprint out, go with hybrid publishing. Call me if you want to chat about it, or find a hybrid publisher that will help you retain that access. That's so important. It's unlike traditional publishing, the big publishing houses, they're never going away, or probably never going away. But small publishing houses, small publishers, they're going to go away eventually. So having access for yourself, super, super important for sure.
But the good thing was that the publisher did know he was not well, so he transferred me to another publisher, but we're just struggling
Okay.
with the Amazon access. So I am now working with them
Gotcha.
to do the second version, and
To
they're giving me
publish.
such a good deal. Yeah. So and they're
Nice.
charging me so little that I've got to go with them.
But
But
you're in
that
good shape. Well, just make sure you have access, right? That you always have access, not just they have access, because that just protects you in the long run for sure. So
absolutely.
anyway, I look forward to hearing about when your book does come out. Be sure and let me know so I can share, because people will be wondering, what about that lady? Where did Hanna go? Where's that book? So I'll want to share that when that comes out. So let me know. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. I know you're ahead of us in time frame, so it's late there. But thank you for taking time to be on the show and share your expertise with us. I certainly appreciate your willingness to give us your time today.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity, and also to the listeners. Thank you for giving your time to listen to us. And I really hope that it was useful for you as well. And remember, your health, it comes from within. So if you want to change your life, start inside first.
I love that. I love that. All right. Thanks, Hanna. We'll see you soon. All right, guys, there you go. A whole new perspective that you perhaps never thought about. Certainly something that I had never considered, that something that I'm suffering with could be a result of something that I've ruminated over for years, and something from my past, perhaps. Okay, if you are in that position, I always like to bring this up. If you're in that position of life where you're ready to create a book to use as a tool for your business, ministry, cause, or brand, then I would love to chat with you about what you're trying to put out to the world. That's definitely what we do over at Rosedale Publishing, is we help you through consulting services, editing, publishing services, and the SAVVY Author Cohort program, give you everything that you need to have to get your book out of your head and out to the world. I wanted to let you know that coming up September 17th is the next SAVVY Author Cohort. So if you are wanting to be a part of a small group, a mastermind of sorts, the SAVVY Author Cohort is for you. Together, we will, in 4 months, work from your brainstorm blueprint, where we get your ideas out of your head and mapped out for your book, all the way to being ready to have your final edit and be published in 4 short months. So if that sounds like something for you, head on over to craftingyourmessage.com/work with us. You can find out all about the program. You can even sign up to be a part of the next cohort that's happening starting in September. All right, my friends, I am out of time. Thank you so much for showing up here once again. I will see you same time, same place next week. Take care.